Hey guys, so recently I've been working my way through my backlog of manga in the horror genre. I have a good collection of horror books, and I've had these HP Lovecraft adaptations, like manga adaptations of his work for a while, and I just never really got around to reading them because I guess I just wasn't in the mood. I feel like I have to be in the mood for horror, even though horror is one of my favorite genres. Because if I go into it not really feeling it, then I'm just not going to like it as much, honestly. But recently I've been having a lot of free time just because I've been sick. So I recently read these, and I read The Call of Cthulhu and The Shadow over Innsmouth. If you don't know these books, The Call of Cthulhu is probably HP Lovecraft's most famous work, because even if you don't know who HP Lovecraft is, you probably know like who or what Cthulhu is, or at least you've heard of that. Like it kind of goes beyond him in a way. The Shadow over Innsmouth is also really interesting because it's actually one of the inspirations for Bloodborne, which is one of my favorite games. Specifically, it influences a lot of the DLC for Bloodborne, the Old Hunters, and you can really see like with the fishing hamlets. So if you like Bloodborne, you'll probably like this because it's decently similar. And these are the only books that Gou Tanabe has adapted. He also has The Hound and some other short stories. He has The Cover Space and The Shadow Out of Time. Now, I have not read these three. I've only read the first two I showed you. And I do recommend the first two because I feel like they're very good starting points. I can't really comment on these just because I haven't read them. There are, I think, two others. There's the Mountains of Madness, I believe it is, and which is like a massive hardback, which looks really nice, but it's like $40. I do plan on getting it eventually because it looks really nice. And there's also the Dunwich Borers, which if you played Fallout, they also make references to that sort of Lovecraftian series as well in Fallout with I think it's like a mine or something in Fallout 4 or something like that. I think they also reference it in Fallout 3 as well. But if I had to compare Gou Tanabe to another author that also adapts horror manga from other authors, it'd probably be Junji Ito. Like two adaptations off the top of my mind would be Frankenstein and No Longer Human, both by different authors, but also adapted by Junji Ito. I have seen some people online say that they prefer Gou Tanabe's adaptations of other horror books over Junji Ito, or at least they prefer him as an author over Junji Ito, like either like storytelling or art-wise. Personally, I prefer Junji Ito over Gou Tanabe, but granted, I've only read those two books by him, so it's still up to be changed in the future. I think I'm honestly just a really big fan of Junji Ito, and I believe these are both two very good adaptations. If you ever want to read one of these books, this is a very famous book, and I hate it so much. I really don't like this book, even though I believe it is a good book. But man, it's fucking depressing. Like whenever the first time I read it, I was so confused because I had no context going into it, and I kept expecting the main character to have like a moment where he becomes like a better person, I guess. And like this is like I read this like when I was very much new to Junji Ito. I think this might have been like the second book by him I read, and that does not happen. That definitely does not happen. He's kind of just a shitty person. Like, I do recommend this book if you're okay with reading a depressing ass book. But Frankenstein, a lot easier to get into. Like, just I feel like that's objectively true. It's a lot easier to get into because most people know what Frankenstein is. This book also adapts parts of The Bride of Frankenstein, I believe, as well as like Frankenstein in general. So it's like this sort of like weird mashup of the two. It's honestly really good. Now, if I do have a criticism of these adaptations by Gou Tanabe, right now we're looking at the shadow over Innsmouth. I didn't notice this while I was reading. There tends to be a lot of these dual pages, like these full covers, where it's just like a full art across both pages, which a lot of manga authors do this, and it's usually very good. Like, this is a very cool page. I love this. Like, just seeing all the creatures, the monsters and stuff. You will notice, like, there is a bit of page loss gap here, where, like, the art just sort of, like, sinks into the page, like, into that gap. It's very noticeable in this. Like, this page got mangled. It's, like, even if, like, you kind of, like, bend it. I try not to bend my books too much because I don't want to ruin them. But even that his eyes are too close together because of the way the gap affects the way the page is drawn. That'd be like my biggest complaint about these books. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's very noticeable. And I remember seeing that part, like getting to that part, and being very confused. I was like, why does it look like this? But other than that, I don't really have a lot of complaints about these books. Now, as for which book I'm going to read next, it's kind of up in the air at the moment, because I am interested in The Shadow Out of Time. That one sounds very interesting to me, but I also want to read The Hound first, maybe, because that seems to be a collection of a bunch of short stories, and I do like short story compilations, because if they're done well, they could be done very well. And some of the stories that they talk about here are actually pretty interesting sounding. Like, a German submarine crew is driven mad by the call of an underwater temple. That sounds so cool. That just sounds really interesting. A pair of decadent young men pursue the abhorrent thrill of grave robbing. An explorer in the Arabian desert discovers a hideous city older than mankind. That sounds like... do you know, like in Bloodborne, where you're doing the Chalice dungeons and you're finding these like older civilizations that also fell to like the curse of the blood from like Bloodborne, and they're like yarns like built over those cities. That's what it sounds like to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these books. If you have read one of these 3 books, let me know which is your preference, like which one's your favorite. All right, well, I hope you guys have a good night tonight. See ya.